Hi, I'm Gregg. I am the artistic director of the Lower Deck Theater Ensemble based in Los Angeles. I'm here with playwright Tearrance, Arvelle, Chisholm, and we are just about to produce this play, Br'er. The story of a 14-year-old boy, African-American boy, who is so shaken by the ongoing recent deaths of black men and boys by law enforcement, and a young man who is determined to do something about it, is trying to determine what to do about it. It's a beautiful play. It's been produced in Texas at Kitchen Dog. We're the second production in a rolling premiere. The next production of it will be after us in Cleveland. And welcome Los Angeles. We'd like to have you here.
Thank you, it's been great.
You couldn't possibly prophesy that Charlottesville is going to happen right here. That the KKK and the neo-Nazis, white supremacists would have a march that would explode America. Mm-hmm. And the play takes place in Lynchburg, which is only 1 hour pretty much away from it. So when that happened, and it reflects so many of the themes and the incidences in the play, just what did you think?
It was kind of scary, to wake up and there actually be riots in Charlottesville. But I think it's just the nature of what I'm writing about, like writing on the pulse of what's happening. There's going to be these overlaps that happen.
I've also read that you remarked that this is sort of your rage play.
Yeah.
This is that. What was the feeling?
Yeah. It was just. I'm from St. Louis, and it was right around the time where the Mike Brown incident happened, and there were riots in St. Louis, and so I completed the play with this real frustration about being away from home and not being able to do anything about it, but wanting to speak on it and to be involved in the conversation and to be part of the healing process. And so this play I was really able to I tapped into some of my anger and some of the murderous thoughts I was having myself, and I felt like this was a healthier way to exercise these sort of things. And so, yeah.
Now, obviously, we're talking about things in the present, but the play has a lot of elements of that reference or use the past. How did the past wind up being so prominent? Use of that in the play that's obviously very contemporary a subject right now.
Yeah. Well, the play that comes from where it was born, which is in Lynchburg, Virginia, and that's a place for me where the past is very present. The people don't move from Lynchburg typically, and so people sort of stay in the same place, and so these sort of relationships and dynamics are repeated throughout time.
You also have some recent past because you have the Black Panthers in there as well.
Yeah.
Sort of my era, and an era when black men felt disenfranchised and violence was happening, but an organization came together to sort of protect the community or affect change in the community. I mean, I love the use of the Black Panthers in there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they were vilified in the press, and it became known, and we now know that J. Hoover infiltrated them. But why do you use the Black Panthers?
I think the Black Panthers speak to an obvious response to violence, and at some point, violence is going to be met with violence, and so I centered that around the young man in the play, Rufrino, because he's at that point, so without
he's 14 years old.
Yeah, so he lacks a lot of context, and so for him, the obvious response is militancy, to become more vocal and angry, and so I think it taps into that sort of anger that comes from oppression and constant oppression, and so it just seemed like not obvious, but an outlet for his sort of rage and anger.
Right, it taps into the Black Panthers. Now, all your plays seem to have an element of, forgive the term, magic realism. I mean, nothing is based in realism. It's, in our case, the hill is taking over the house, and the cotton is growing in the kitchen. Just where does that come from? The affinity from adding that detail.
Yeah, I think it's just theatricality for me. I think I don't like going into a play and watching realism. That's a movie. I want to make space. I make use of the benefits of theater. The idea that we're all in this room together and there's this one thing that's happening, and so I'm always trying to think about how to engage the audience theatrically, and so that a lot of times manifests itself in magic, or stage magic for him.
Well, you certainly wake up the artistic director. So,
Yeah.
so he has a tree growing in the kitchen, okay, and then someone chops down the tree. How do we do that? It's wonderful. How are you? How do we find ways to solve that?
Yeah, that's about the collaboration. Like, I love writing things and being like, I don't have to figure out how to do that. That's not my job.
No,
so,
So you've been with us for the last couple of days. You'll come back for one or two of our previews, and then you'll come to our opening. Yeah, hopefully by then we will have grown. It's been wonderful having you last couple of days.
It's been great.
And you've been very open with the actors that will come to you saying, well, what do you think this means? But I can't wait for you to come back for the opening.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not worried, which is...
So we've done that. I think we have a way into this play, and we thank you because, again, we as a company are looking to how do we answer what's going on politically, racially, how do we answer that, how do we provide some sort of catalyst for conversation to our audiences, and your place certainly fits that bill with theatricality, with fun, and it's been a gas to work on.
Sweet.
Thank you, Tearrance.
Yeah, thanks a lot.